NRL fanatics here, back today with a video, and this is going to be my NRL tips for round 13. As you all know, this is a shortened round. There's only 4 games to go through this week due to State of Origin and next week. So there's a couple of teams that are having the bye. The Warriors this week are having the bye, so no game for us this week, but there is games for a couple teams. And look, even though it's 4 games, it's still going to be a tough round to pick. Good luck trying to pick all 4 games right, because these games are very, very tough to call. So let's get into it. It starts on Thursday, the 3rd of June. It's the St. George Illawarra Dragons versus the Brisbane Broncos at Nostrada Jubilee Stadium. It is a home game for the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Now, the Dragons last week, they're coming off a disappointing performance against the West Tigers, losing 34 points to 18. As for the Brisbane Broncos, they're coming off a hiding over the Melbourne Storm, 40 points to 12, down there in Brisbane last week. So, look, this is a very, very tough game to call. Both these teams have not been great this year. Both been in pretty ordinary form lately. The Dragons, although they had a decent start to the year, early start to the year, and they were up inside that top 8, which was a big surprise, but since then, they haven't found consistency. The Brisbane Broncos, well, they've been struggling since the start of the season anyway. So, I'm going to pick the Dragons here to win. I reckon they'll bounce back and win this game by 8 points. I reckon, I don't think it'll be a hiding. I think Brisbane will run it close because, neither of these teams, will have the origin players. So, I'm going to pick the Dragons. Dragons by 8, and it would not surprise me if there was an upset in this one, but I've gone with the Dragons. Now, the next game is on Friday, the 4th of June. It's the West Tigers versus the Penrif Panthers, and this has been played at Leichhardt Oval, so it's a big home game for the West Tigers. Now, look, the West Tigers don't have many players representing an origin, so, they should be up for this one against the Penrif Panthers. The Penrif Panthers will be missing the likes of Nathan Cleary and Jerome Luai, the key players. So, this is a huge opportunity for the West Tigers to pick up a victory against a top team in the Penrith Panthers. Now, the Panthers will still have Viliami Kikau and Stephen Crichton as well, so they'll still have some pretty good players in that lineup. They'll still have a strong lineup, Penrith, even though they're without their origin stars. The West Tigers picked up a good victory last week against the Dragons, 34 points to 18. But with the West Tigers this year, they haven't found that consistency, and they're finding it hard to go back-to-back. So they haven't won back-to-back games this year. The Panthers, they're yet to lose a game. I know they're without the origin players, like I said, but, I'm going to pick the Penrith Panthers here, but not with much confidence. I think the West Tigers could pull something off here. They could pull off an upset. Might be a crazy thing to say considering Penrith are going so well, but you never know. The West Tigers pull something off here. They could pull off an upset, but I'm going with the Panthers here by 12 points. I don't think it'll be a flogging, a hiding. I think this will be very, very tight for the majority of the game, but the Panthers show their class and still win this game by 12 points. Now, the next game is on Saturday, the 5th of June, and that is the Melbourne Storm versus the Gold Coast Titans down there at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. It is a Melbourne Storm home game, even though it's on the Sunshine Coast. But for the Melbourne Storm, look, too good for Brisbane last week, but this week they are without their origin players. As for the Gold Coast Titans, they're also going to be missing some players as well due to State of Origin. Look, Melbourne, they have so much depth at the moment. They've got Nico Hines. They've got so many good players in there. And I don't think the Gold Coast Titans will win this. I think, they concede a lot of points this season. And I said last week in my tipping video that I picked the Sharks to cause an upset. And, maybe people would call me crazy and said, why did you pick the Sharks to beat the Titans? But they got up in the end. And the Sharks won very convincingly. And I'm not been convinced by the Gold Coast Titans at all this year. They might be still near the 8, but to me, they're not a top 8 team. I've said it all along this whole season. They're not a top 8 team. So I'm going to pick the Melbourne Storm here. I think Melbourne will be far too good, even without their origin players. I'm going to pick Melbourne by 18 points. Now, the last game of the round it's a Sunday, the 6th of June. It's the Newcastle Knights versus the Parramatta Eels at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Now, the Newcastle Knights, huge surprise last week, big upset over the Manly Seagulls down there in Newcastle, and it was a huge win for them, not only for, for the team, but to give them confidence going forward. I mean, look, at the moment, Newcastle, they're sitting in 11th spot on the ladder, so they want to win a few games before the end of the season to get themselves back in contention for a top 8 spot. Personally, I don't think Newcastle will make it this year, but, they're still putting themselves in the picture if they can win their next few games. And they're playing this Parramatta team. Now, the Parramatta Eels lately, lost their last 2 games. They lost to South Sydney last week, and they lost to Manly the previous week. So, look, I think with Newcastle here, look, even though it's at home, I'm going to tip Parramatta. I'm going to tip Parramatta Eels to win this by 10 points in a very close game. Another close game. I think this whole round will definitely be close. I don't see any one-sided scorelines, except for the Storm game and the Panthers versus Tigers game, which I think will be very close. So my tip for this one is the Parramatta Eels by 10 points over the Newcastle Knights. So that is my tips for round 13 of the NRL. Let me know your tips in the comment section below. Don't forget also to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and you're new around here. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to also like the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.